What is Copperplate? In this video, I'm going to look at what this script is and what the best way is to approach the writing of this script. So I'm using my own grids, my PA Scribe grid, which is part of the PA Scribe training wheels, which is a free PDF, which looks like this, free PDF, which helps to train you in some basic underlying principles of script structure and spacing. So I'm going to slip the grid underneath a sheet of layout paper. And I'm going to show you how I approach Copperplate script. So I'm using a straight holder with a Hunt 22B nib. You might not be able to access the 22B nib. A Leonard Principal or a Gillott 303 will work equally well. Any of the other nibs might be a little bit hard. So if you're just starting off, it would be best to use something like an Eco G or a Gillott 1068A or a Gillott 404. So the premise of Copperplate script sits on this 55-degree line. So I always mark off the line so I can see where I'm working. From the cap height to the baseline, we have the basic shape, which is the line of universal beauty. Note, this stays on the line and it's not a wiggly line. That is off the 55. So just be very conscious of that. This line also works upward at 50 degrees, because you can see the 55 here, and then down at 55. So that gives us a really beautiful script. I'm just going to write some of the majuscules for you to see. As you can see, it's a really beautiful hand. Which is all based on delicacy of touch. So there's pressure on the downstroke and no pressure on the upstroke, which can sometimes cause sticking of the nib. So the majuscules, or capitals, are the larger letters, and they're written at double the height. So we have the baseline, the X height or waistline, the cap height, which I also use as my ascender line, and a descender line. Now, let's jump from the capitals to the lowercase letters, or the minuscules as they're known. The minuscules are based on, skip 2 lines, are based on this stroke, which is called the swelled stroke. Now, the swelled stroke has, you go up on the 55, around a little turn, and down on the 55 and back up on the 55. And that immediately starts to change the structure of the spacing. So you can see how that works within the context of the grid that I've developed. And I'm just going to start connecting the letters. So that gives you a sense of how the minuscules work separately and together. And of course, there are two types of joins to consider with the letters. So let's write the basic practice word. This is an indirect join. And this is a direct join. So obviously with the indirect, you go all the way up and over and around, and with the direct, you go up and into the shape. So the next thing to look at is something that many of you might be wondering. These are called oblique holders. Now, oblique holders were initially made for Spencerian script, not for English roundhand, which later became known as Copperplate script. They are both different. English roundhand is different from Copperplate script, but this is not the place to get into it. And lots of people use the oblique holders for Copperplate script. They were made for Spencerian and eventually were used to develop and write engrossers and engravers, which are American scripts, versus Copperplate script, which is an English script. Now, lots of people find starting with the oblique holder a little bit easier because it's already at an angle, so you're not having to turn the page. And by using this angle, you're already at the axis of the script. My only suggestion is be really conscious of of using an oblique holder, because there is a tendency for the holder to drop weight at the bottom or at the top more easily than it is to stay in the middle. So you can see the weight's a little bit higher up here, whereas I'm actually trying to keep it in the middle. If I do this with a straight holder, there's a greater chance of me keeping the weight in the middle. And of course, the other thing to notice is this is on the 55. This is just a hair's breadth off the 55. So there are quite a few things to consider in the writing of the script. Of course, one of the other things that people love about Copperplate script is the ability to flourish on the script. So we can add flourishes, and if you want to try a flourish, remember the tool must face parallel to the baseline. So I hope that's given you a nice little introduction to Copperplate script. Good luck. Just take your time with it. Look at the training wheels. If you're struggling with the script, if you're already practicing, the training wheels will really help you sort of consolidate the script, the letter shapes, and the spacing. Thank you.